Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Chasing Labels, and welcome to another Criterion Collection review video. It's that time. We're in the month of May 2026, and me and Andrew have once again gotten a couple more new releases from the Criterion Collection to talk about tonight. Um, Starting with me, I got the reissue, the upgrade of Akira Kurosawa's Stray Dog. And Mr. Andrew over there got himself a new film, one that came out
Yes,
just last year.
Sentimental Value, the film by Joachim Trier. So we're doing a little bit of a swinging of the timeline pendulum in terms of movies. Steven's got a movie from 1949. I have a movie from 2025. So we can't
Yes.
can't get more of a wider gap than that. Well, you could, but it's
Yeah,
pretty big. It's pretty big.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
These are both
And you know, something new to the collection, something that's been in the collection for a while. This is at number
right.
230,
I
233. So,
Yeah, I'm fascinated because I know Steven, I believe you haven't seen that movie before.
nope, nope.
And it's one that's been a much wanted and much needed Blu-ray upgrade, at least from Criterion's perspective, for a long time. That movie came out on DVD in 2004, and that
Wow.
was the only way you could have seen it through Criterion since until now. The BFI put out a Blu-ray last January of it, so people perhaps upgraded at that time. But if you were waiting for the Criterion, there it is in 4K UHD format, which is a heck of a bump up from DVD, I would
For
say.
sure. There's a lot more 4Ks coming out of Akira Kurosawa stuff. Of course, they got that big box set coming from overseas, I believe, right?
From Curzon, where they're
Yeah.
putting out a bunch of his movies on 4K,
Yes.
most of which have already gotten 4Ks from Criterion so far, like Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
I think Yojimbo and Sanjuro, I think, have 4Ks now from Criterion, plus a couple of other ones. I think didn't Dreams just get an upgrade announcement recently to 4K?
I think so. Yes.
Um, but slowly but surely, it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, and you know, even our friend Dan Skiballins asked about this. He's saying like, "Are we going to get like the big box set?" And you know, it's tough to say. Initially, my thought is no, because like, how expensive would that box set be for a whole bunch of Akira Kurosawa films on 4K in one box? But then we got this like big Wes Anderson box, and we got this big essentials box that was like super expensive,
Right.
and they've put them out, and I'm like, so I guess price doesn't really matter at this point. Now it's
It
about what can be acquired and put in the box, like, you know.
And there are precedents set within Criterion for those type of sets
Yeah.
coming out even after the movies have been released individually on Blu-ray. We
Yep.
saw it with the Fellini set, the Essential Fellini set, which I think you were just mentioning. We saw it with the big old Ingmar Bergman set. Most of those movies had already come out on Blu-ray. I know because I bought all of them, and then
Yeah.
then I rebought them when the big set came out. So, and even in the past, there has been an Akira Kurosawa DVD collection set,
Yeah.
and I think is long out of print
And
now,
it's
just
been,
because
yeah, and I think that's
not
what
so
people
long
want.
ago.
They just want that to come back into print, upgraded. You know,
Right,
bring,
but
yeah,
at this point, we're not only in the Blu-ray stage, we're in the 4K stage, so we're kind of waiting to see which more of his other movies. There are some of his movies that are still on DVD that need to
yeah,
make, the upgrade before we get any type of box set. I mean, Stray Dog was one of them. I know The Bad Sleep Well is one I've been waiting for years. It's only on DVD.
yeah.
Red Beard is another one that's only on DVD. I mean, there's a whole
Didn't
host of
Red
his
Beard just
earlier
get a
stuff
four?
that's in essential sets that need
Yeah,
to be upgraded too.
I think didn't Redbeard just get a upgrade
I
announcement overseas?
Overseas, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
not from Criterion.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Um,
it's probably going to happen eventually.
yeah,
I don't know that a set will come. I I just think that like you said, there's so many things to upgrade at this point, and honestly, as a collector, if I'm collecting all these singly and then they do a box set, I really don't want to have to buy them again. Um, at that point, you know, like luckily, like if I got like that Wes Anderson set, it would be a complete all upgrade for me because
right.
I don't have any of his stuff in 4K. So it kind of would be worth it. But like if I start buying these 4Ks of his stuff now for Akira Kurosawa and then they come out with a box set of all 4Ks, I'm not getting it. I mean, unfortunately, you know, like it's just not happening. So like I really wish they would make a decision and do a box set if they want to do one. If not, you know, doesn't really matter. He's got a lot of great stuff. I'm going to buy it anyway. And I
Right.
think we're going to see the like Eclipse series stuff probably get upgraded soon.
Yeah, I would. There's a couple of other ones. I know Dersu Uzala had a Blu-ray release put out by Imprint years
Right,
ago.
yeah,
Would
yeah,
love Criterion to do that. I would love for Criterion to do Dodeskaden, which has only
yeah,
been on DVD as well. But they're slowly also upgrading their Blu-rays to 4Ks uh,
yeah,
as well. So like, there's a lot going on. But other things going on in the month of May for Criterion, a few more releases that we don't have, but I guess we can mention them.
yeah,
Straight
yeah,
obviously is the one Steven has. We have two movies by Ira Sachs, who just did a Criterion Collection video, a Criterion Closet video, which was
yeah.
really good. Peter Hujar's Day from 2025, and then The Delta, which is a movie from 1996. Radically different films. But Ira Sachs also did the movie Passages from 2023, which I thought was really fantastic. That wasn't released through Criterion. That's just me just saying stuff out loud. And then some other things that are coming out in May. We have Fresh Kill. We have Body Heat, which is the Lawrence Kasdan film. That's what I really want. And then we also have, of course, Sentimental Value, which we will talk about. Lenny is getting a Criterion release. That
Yeah, I
came
want that. I
out a
want
couple of
Lenny.
years
Yeah,
ago. And that is it. Lenny, that's the kind of quasi biopic about Lenny Bruce starring Dustin
yeah,
Hoffman from the 70s. That's directed by Bob Fosse. Uh, Interesting movie, interesting kind of portrait of that comic and that rebel, basically. But I am curious what you think of Stray Dog because you had never seen it before, and I saw it several years ago. It's one of my favorite non Kurosawa samurai films. So what'd you think
yeah.
of it?
Well, I'm gonna have to say after a first time watch, it's one of my favorite non-samurai Kurosawa films. It's essentially, what's cool about it is I've seen a lot of movies with this kind of more modern movies with this type of kind of uh, plot device, I guess you want to call it, where a gun's involved and it has to be found. We've seen this played out. We just talked about Babel on one of our shows not that long ago, I think. There's gun crazy. It's almost its own genre. The
I
gun
mean,
that
Winchester 73
Winchester 73,
is a close one.
and in this film, we have a young rookie cop played by I can't ever say any names. Say it for me.
Toshiro Mifune.
Toshiro from I can't speak tonight. I usually can say this guy's name, but and he doesn't even look like himself.
No,
Like
he's
it,
clean shaven. He's super young. This was
it's
right after he was in Rashomon.
yeah, dude. He looks like a baby. He
Yeah,
looks like a baby.
I've never seen him so clean cut before.
I know. I was almost like that ain't him. Like, but he's a rookie cop and he's on his way to work one day, and it was like a trolley or something. And so he's got all these people. You know how you've seen it like subways, in Japan. They're just crammed in, and his gun gets pulled off of him while he's on the trolley, and so then he goes in and tells his he tries to chase down the person, but you don't get a good look at him, and he has to go into work and let him know that his gun's missing, and of course he's trying to be like yeah, I'll put in my resignation, and they're like, no, look, calm down. we'll get you together with a veteran basically to help you figure this out, and in doing this, before the veteran comes in, he goes in to try to figure it out himself, and as he's trying to do it, he starts to kind of do kind of questionable things to try to find his gun. He kind of digs into the underworld a little bit, and then the veteran cop comes in to help kind of straighten him out, to help make him make better choices. And through that, there's like this great bond that I think happens. It really made me think about the bond between Riggs and Murtaugh later on in Lethal Weapon, because this film very much felt very modern, like in a lot of it's like what would be action filmmaking later. Cop stories, buddy cop stories. It had that feeling to it. It had that type of chemistry between the characters, and the way that some of the action scenes played out felt very modern, because I think just the way Kurosawa frames shots, and he gets the most out of every frame, and he knows how to do blocking really. He's one of the best at choreographing a scene without having to move the camera a lot. Like, he will get the most out of one shot that I've ever seen any filmmaker get. And yeah, I mean, it's a really, really good cop drama that has a fantastic finale. The finale was like intense. I loved it. And by the end of it, you get a great message. And I was doing some reading the essay in here on the booklet, and there at the beginning, it's got an insert from Kurosawa talking about this film and about how he had already done basically a version of this movie before it. What was the name of the movie? Let me make sure I get this right. The movie was The Quiet Duel from the same year. Yeah, that's what it says. But he did like a remake, unless I'm reading that wrong. But he did a movie. Did he do a movie called The Quiet Duel? Just to check.
Let me look it up.
But he's basically saying you've seen this a lot actually from a lot of filmmakers of that time, kind of remaking their own movies, like what Hitchcock did with 39 Steps and doing North by Northwest. But that's kind of crazy if that was that quick of a turnaround, though.
Yeah, and The Quiet Duel from 1949, also starring Toshiro Mifune and Takashi Shimura, who was also
the same two actors. Yeah,
same two actors.
So it is. He essentially remakes his own movie very quickly. Yeah, I mean, he talks about how like he didn't feel like he thought he thought out all of the ideas from the Quiet Duel. Like he didn't quite get it all out properly, and people were having a hard time like understanding what he was trying to say in the movie. So that when he did Stray Dog, he feel like he kind of interpreted his ideas better. So, but it's some great reading in there. There's also another essay in there to read. But yeah, I really loved this movie. It's also, of course, it's like summertime. It's like really hot. It's one of the movies that, you get them, everybody always talks about Do the Right Thing. That's a summer movie, really hot outside. Everybody's sweating all the time. This movie, it's in black and white, but you see all the beads of sweat, especially in the new 4K. You see all the sweat all over people always having a rag on their, wiping their face all the time. Yeah. So it looks really great. Like I said, first time watch, loved it. So
yeah, it's a movie like, it's so fascinating because it's a movie that utilizes the MacGuffin being this gun, and it's just like the sense of desperation that the Shiro Mifune character has while hunting for this missing gun is fascinating to me, because even his superiors at the police department are like, well, you're taking this really seriously. Like they're like
there's also kind of like there's like a ticking clock. Yeah, I mean it is serious though, because
I feel like it's a metaphor for probably some other things and whatnot.
Sure.
It's interesting to me, like, it's because it's not only, I think, that he just lost this gun, but I think he's more afraid of, like, what is this gun now going to do in the wrong hands? Because, chances are it's fallen into criminal hands and things like that. So what is that sense of morality? What sense does he play? Because a gun, typically, from what we know of them, are typically used to harm other people and commit crimes, et cetera, et cetera. So what it would be his tie to that event, morally and emotionally, because it's his fault that his gun got stolen from him. It was his responsibility. So is he now responsible for what it does in someone else's hands? I mean, that's a whole moral quandary, philosophical quandary too. But you're right, Stephen. The atmosphere in this movie, it's hot and sweaty and tense, and I feel like that's part of the whole makeup of the movie, because he's like, he's desperate to find this. He's trying to like infiltrate like the pickpocket underground at times, where he's just like trying to see, hey, like just dressing up as someone who'll be in the criminal underground and seeing if someone will approach him to sell him a gun.
Yeah, he goes undercover as like somebody that would, like, there's a point where they say, hey, you got to go to this area to get them to sell you a gun, and he has to like hang around for a while and like make somebody actually ask him like, hey, this is where you can buy a gun.
He's got to go to like the seedy underbelly of society in order to do that. So he has to like kind of go off the books as like an undercover agent, if you will. But like what I said, like Steven said, there is a buddy cop aspect of the movie that takes place, I would say, once Takashi Shimura shows up about mid-second act or so, then the movie I think escalates even to another level. Takashi Shimura, for me, I think it's one of the greatest Japanese actors ever. He was in Seven
Kiru.
Samurai. He was in Akiru. He was in what else was he in? He was in uh, Rashomon. He also has a small role in Godzilla as
Yeah.
well, but he was in tons of Japanese movies, recognizable,
He's
and
he's
he
kind of
Mifune
he's kind of
are
like
kind
he's
of
kind of like the like Scorsese and De Niro,
I was just
and
gonna
then you
say
got
that.
yeah,
He
and
he was their
then
go-to guy.
and then Famune is like the DiCaprio that came later.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you
because
know,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because
yeah,
Shimura was an older actor, and he, I think, worked with Kurosawa
a little
earlier than
earlier, yeah, before,
Shimifune,
yeah,
but then they crossed over a bit
yeah.
and whatnot. But yeah, I think he's great in the movie, and that his appearance and his a- character just escalates it up to another level. And Steven's right. There are diagrams and videos you can watch online right now of just people diagramming, just analyzing the way in which Kurosawa blocks several scenes, the way he edits several scenes, and how he's able to do so much all within one scene, and how smooth it is, and how it's all designed that way by him. Like
Well,
it's super designed by like
the
just
one,
like two people talking
yeah.
in an office is just immaculate to watch.
Well, people talk about this a lot too and this is like a issue with more modern films that they feel like deep focus is not utilized more. We get all that like out of focus background shit now.
Mm,
Everybody does that now, but what is something we're losing is that deep focus where the background's actually all in focus
yeah,
and
the
getting to
background and the
see your
foreground are both in focus.
yeah, that we're actually seeing everything, and that's what I mean, you rarely see shots with background out of focus back then. Like it didn't really happen that much. It wasn't that became more and more popular through the years. But like,
Yeah. I
but there was like a specific scene that stood out to me where he was chasing down the person that had his gun, and it was like one shot. He was in like he ends up getting into like a middle of a cross, like a crossroad, and he's like doesn't know where the guy ran, and it's all in one shot. And he's like going this way, going that way, and he's just like I don't know where to go, and it's just all framed in one shot. And I'm like, this looks amazing. Like,
mm,
Michael Bay wishes he could do a shot like this. Instead, he goes spin around, ass shot, spin around. So yeah.
yeah. It's interesting to me. I mean, there are certain connections between Akira Kurosawa and Star Wars, and I remember this, especially George Lucas. George Lucas took a lot of inspiration from Kurosawa's samurai films. I feel like the lightsaber and the gun are
Mm,
connected spiritually between Star Wars and this movie, just because in Star Wars there was an emphasis that the lightsaber is like a key item up for a Jedi. Like that's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
got to protect it. It's your key to everything.
You got to have
Obi-Wan
respect.
Kenobi
You
even
got to have
says that
you got to
in
have respect
episode
for
2.
it. You got to have, like,
Yeah, he
yeah,
even says like because Anakin loses it in episode 2,
yeah.
and Kenobi catches it on Coruscant, and he basically lectures him about it. And I feel like that type of principle, that type of philosophical principle, is something that the Toshiro Mifune detective character takes very seriously as well. That's probably why he's so broken up about it, because to him it's not just a gun, it's a discipline thing,
Yeah.
it's a regiment thing, it's something sacred, if you will. Yeah, I love Stray Dog. It's been talked about for years as one of Kurosawa's best, especially from his early stuff, because like I said, it's 1949. This is pre Seven Samurai, plus plus I think pre Akiru as well, and plus several of his other masterworks. But this is an early masterwork from him.
It is. And also, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to do some research, but like, I wonder if there was like specific laws about ownership of guns in
Mm,
Japan at that time. So maybe having a gun is not so readily available, which makes it even more intense if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in a country that doesn't really allow guns to be like owned by everybody, um, you know, him losing his gun is way more, you know, of a big deal.
I have no idea. Specifically in post World War II Japan, I don't know what the gun laws were like.
Yeah,
All I can know is that apparently there is obviously a black market for it
sure.
as
So there is some semblance of like a inventory of guns in the public, I guess.
Yeah, and there's probably
Yeah,
a criminal element that's, funneling guns from person to person and things
probably,
like that.
probably.
Um, yeah, it's interesting. But what did we have for special features for this release? I know it's a 4K UHD
It,
release.
yeah.
It's a new restoration. Um, there's one Blu-ray disc, there's one 4K disc, and probably I'm assuming the old special features have carried over.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think we have anything new. I think the main stuff you got here is an audio commentary from Stephen Prince, author of Warrior's Camera, the cinema of Akira Kurosawa, and then the short documentary on stray dogs from the series Akira Kurosawa. It is wonderful to create, featuring interviews with the director and production designer, things like that. So same stuff, but this is one of them things where the movie is enough for me. Of course, I always want supplemental or material, but this movie was really great, and nothing will take that away. So it's definitely a for sure pickup if you don't already have it.
Nice, nice. So flipping the switch now, to
Let's go into the
me.
future.
Yeah, get in your time machines now and come to the future with me,
Can
because
we
this
go
movie.
back to 1949, please?
Yeah, yeah, could we not? Let me bring up, Sentimental Value. So this was kind of one of the bigger international hits from last year, critically acclaimed,
Yeah,
um, by many. I was nominated for, I think, many Oscars as well. If that's not the end all be all, but I'm just saying, critically beloved. It won the best international feature film at the Academy Awards as well. The first Norwegian film ever to do that since they've been awarding this, giving out that Oscar. Joachim Trier previously had a movie in the Criterion Collection, which I also happen to have here as well, called The Worst Person in the World, which was also
that's good.
a big
That's
critical
great.
hit when it came out.
I've seen.
Also, an excellent movie.
I was gonna say I've seen that one. It is great. Unfortunately, I haven't seen Sentimental Value yet. So
Right. So this would be his follow up to that, and um, it's really good. Sentimental Value. Rewatching it because I hadn't seen it since, I want to say, either earlier this year or late last year. I think it was probably late last year when I saw it, and when it was doing its whole like Oscar push and
yeah,
um, award season push and stuff like that. But this movie is a Norwegian film starring um, Stellan Skarsgård. It stars Renata Rensby, who was also in The Worst Person in the World. Um, Elle Fanning is in the film too. And I have to look up this actress because I'll butcher her name if I don't look it up. Who was also fantastic in the movie and played the sister of the Renata Rensby character. Let me look up her name. I'm probably going to butcher it no matter what.
and let me say it.
uh, oh boy. Okay, so Inga Ibsdatter Lilleus.
Oh, that's amazing.
She
That
was
sounds
excellent
great.
in the film. This whole movie has incredibly great acting, even upon a rewatch. So this movie is it's a family drama at its core. It's a family drama. It's a human drama at its core. And it is a movie. Stellan Skarsgård's character is a famous film director who's been apparently very successful for many decades, and he is now in the kind of twilight era, the later part of his career, and he basically wants to make one last great movie. He hasn't really done a movie in about 10 years, and he kind of wants to do it to do his final film essentially because he is older. And this movie is going to be a very personal film for him, kind of autobiographical, dealing with his mother, who happened to commit suicide when he was 7 years old. So the movie right away establishes uh, this sentimental connection to this
Hmm.
story, and you learn about perhaps the reasons why his mother had committed suicide and things like that. That's told throughout the story. I won't give any of that away, but he wants his daughter, portrayed by Renata Rensve, to portray this character. And because she is an actress, she's a theater actress. The issue here is that he has been a terrible father to his children. He had basically abandoned them when they were very, very young, and they were raised by their mother pretty much alone as a single parent. And he's had a very on again, off again relationship. Like he'll show up once in a while for like a birthday or a holiday or something. Then he'll go away, live his life, and they won't see him for years. Now they're much older. One daughter, portrayed by Inga, She has a husband and a child. His other daughter, Rana Renzve, is kind of a loner. She's kind of got emotional baggage and emotional issues as well that she's dealing with. So you get a lot of human stuff going on here, a lot of family stuff going on here, and they're trying to um, put the pieces back together of this like shattered family. But the question you have in your mind is it too late or can it be too late to mend all of these broken pieces together? And, what is the difficulties behind that? What is all of the kind of buried emotions that are still there that are coming out in doing so? And have people really changed over this time? Has Stellan Skarsgård's character, is he now a better person than he was when he abandoned his family? Or does he still have all of these issues? And this movie is kind of digging through all of that stuff. Meanwhile, he's trying to create this movie, and the young actress that he gets to uh, portray essentially his mother character in this movie, once his daughter says, I don't want anything to do with you, he's got to get someone else, it's portrayed by Elle Fanning. And he starts treating Elle Fanning as if she's a surrogate daughter in there. Once again, family connection. And they have these great, wonderful scenes together that are really honest and really open about what this movie is really about. It's really about him working through a lot of emotions and a lot of regrets and about his life and things like that. It's a phenomenally layered movie, like an excellent screenplay. I think it was nominated for screenplay as well, but excellently layered screenplay, great acting by everyone involved, and the movie's 2 hours and 13 minutes, but it moves so well. Even though it's a movie that is not for everyone because it will be dramatic and slow, not a lot of things going on. And what I also loved about the movie is it doesn't really adhere itself to a three-act structure like we know three-act structures to be, where you have to have like a second act climax, or you have to have an inciting incident, or you have to have these big emotional beats. The movie just free flows and is just so ethereal and just so natural. Like you don't know where the movie's going. You don't know how these characters are going to interact with one another, but you can feel the tension between them. You can feel the emotional connections between them, and you can feel the things that aren't being said that should be said, or things that are being said that maybe shouldn't be said. It runs the gamut. Really a phenomenal movie. One of my favorites of last year. And Joachim Trier to me is an excellent filmmaker. I discovered him when he made a Criterion Closet video many years ago. And after I think it was after I discovered, or I think it was after that I discovered a movie he did in 2011 called Oslo, August 31st, which is one of the saddest movies I've ever seen. Gut punch of a movie. So he has that emotional through line throughout his films. But as for this release here, this is the 4K UHD release. There's no HDR or Dolby Vision on this. I'm assuming that was by the director's design. It's not really a movie with that type of bombastic aesthetic that you would really need it. But,
Yeah.
it is at his discretion. And but there are some special features on here that I think are really interesting. There is a 47-minute sit-down interview discussion talk between Joachim Trier and director Mike Mills, who's coincidentally having a box set of his movies. It's
Yeah.
47 minutes long. I didn't know this, but apparently they've been friends for many, many years. So it's basically two friends just like talking to each other for 47 minutes. Then
Cool.
there's a 32-minute making of documentary uh, type of thing where it's mostly uh, interviews with the principal actors of the film, and then they kind of chop it up and put it into like a documentary form. But you just get the perspective of them of how they were introduced to Joachim Trier's work and how they they came onto the movie, what their characters are like, what it was like shooting with him, what it was like making the movie, and you get all their different perspectives, and you get their take on um, what their characters' mindsets are, and what their meaning behind their character stuff, and all this good stuff. That's 32 minutes long. That is excellent, excellent. And I think you get deleted scenes, and then you get um, actually let me look. I think because there's one more thing. It wasn't only deleted scenes. It was selected scene commentaries. That's what it
Mm.
was. So there isn't a commentary, and we haven't really seen a lot of audio commentaries from recent Criterion releases. But it says new select commentaries by Trier, co-screenwriter Eskil Voigt, production designer Jürgen Stansby Larson, and sound designer Gisti Veto. Uh, and that's it. There's a booklet in here as well with an essay by author Ove Norsgaard. You can tell I don't know my Norse language very,
Yeah, I
very
was gonna
well.
say you don't pronounce the Norwegian stuff as well as you
Yeah,
pronounce like the French stuff for the
yeah. I don't know that. That's a different European language.
yeah.
But here is the booklet with the essay in it as well.
Hey,
Um,
look, it's like a book style, not the folded out ones that I'm seeing
True,
mostly.
which is really nice. And then you've got
Yeah,
inner artwork. There are the two discs
nice.
inside. There is
Like it.
put the digi back up. The house actually plays a very important part in the movie. I didn't mention it, but so this house has basically been in the family for generations upon generations, and it was left to the mother when the dad abandoned the family. When Stellan Skarsgård's character abandoned the family, he actually comes back because the mother passes away, and he's actually the one who inherits the house, which leads to a whole other friction within the family as well. But the movie kind of opens with like a history of this family and this house, hence why this house is so important. Also, this house was this house in which his mother committed suicide in too. So
Mm.
obviously that plays a big part in the movie as well. But yeah, that's Sentimental Value, one of the biggest international hits of last year. It was this movie and
Secret Agent.
Secret Agent, which were the two biggest hits from last year.
Yeah, I need to get on this, especially since it's a movie about movies in a way. So I got to get in on that. And I like movies that, and this seems to be this director's style is like like you said, he doesn't go by a normal structure. It seems like he kind of lets his characters lead
Yeah,
you through the movie.
very
Like,
character
yeah,
based.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's whatever builds the characters is what builds his stories. It's not the other
Yeah,
way
and you get
around.
a lot of with that 47-minute discussion between he and Mike Mills. You get a lot of insight in how he structures his movies and what his mindset is and how he formulates stories and
Yeah.
how he tackles stories. That is kind of the introverted way in which one would normally structure a story or normally tackle telling a story in movie form. So I thought that was very insightful. I always love those interviews because you get to learn a lot about
The
these
process.
filmmakers and their process, and
Yeah.
then you can see that process how it plays out on screen.
Yeah.
You can see how it works, how maybe it doesn't work. I also, filmmakers are very self-aware of their movies, like overly self-aware of their movies, more so than I think anyone else. So you get all of that firsthand insight,
Well,
which I
they've
think
been
is
working
fantastic.
on it for years. The
Yeah, because
one movie.
yeah, it's a years long process for many
Yeah.
of these. Some directors start working on their next movie while they're working on their current movie. That
Yeah.
happens so often. That's why you see directors will come out with a movie year after year after year, or some
Eh,
come out with movies within the same year, depending on the
Yeah.
release schedules and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, the Sentimental Value, it was even, like I said, even better on a rewatch.
Good.
And it does fit up well with Worst Person of the Year too. So if
Awesome.
you already have Worst Person of the Year and you like it, chances are you'll like Sentimental Value too.
Fantastic. Well, that if I don't need to tell you, you can go to criterion.com, go ahead and get your pre-orders in. And of course these will be coming out in what May. Wait, this is July? No, wait, August.
These are May.
Oh, wait, what am I thinking?
What year?
is
What
wrong
year are
with
you in?
What year am I in? No, you could wait to the July sale, of course, to get these. Of course, that's what I was trying to say. Was that's when the sale's coming up and you can get these. Yeah. So these are two great releases once again, and there was all these other stuff that came out this month you can watch out for. But you can go to criterion.com,
Yeah.
put your pre-orders there. You could go to Barnes and Nobles for the sale. Of course, all the other retailers like Orbi DVD,
Diabolic, Odyssey movies.
Odyssey.
And since this is a new movie, I didn't mention it. It looks fantastic. I mean, it's a brand new film.
Yeah.
You would expect a 4K of a brand new movie to look very good, and it does. So I want to make sure to add that too. Since we do watch these movies, they are a visual medium.
That is great to hear and see. So yes, but that will be it for this Criterion review. Watch out next month for another couple releases I'm sure we'll get. Please subscribe here, please. Go to our audio platforms. You can follow us there. Leave a rating, a review. That would be great. We'd like to hear what you're thinking. And that is it for this review. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.